Big win, big win. Looks like we lost Gab. That's a good start.
Oh wow. I guess
Gotta love that.
we'll give a few moments before I guess we will just take this thing forward.
It's that Cricket Wireless. They got him again.
I'm glad the host could make it. Thanks for showing
Oh,
up.
There
welcome,
we are.
Gavin.
There
Fashionably
we are.
late.
Fashionably on time and late, all in one. Welcome back to Up West Sports, and we're going to be talking about the current state of the Mariners and just what an excellent game tonight. Didn't want to take away from tonight since we are doing it post game. 2-1 Mitch Garver. Big Dick Garver. Well, we're just gonna go with that. Big Dick Garver. Way to go, Mitchie. Good job getting the job done and everything. But I mean, over the past couple of weeks, we can talk about the ups and downs. I mean, since the trade deadline, there was a 10 out of 11 that we had with having Naylor and Gino back in the cut, and then we went on the road and things went south, and now we're back at home. We have a witch via Etsy that has been summoned, and we are 7-0. Speaking of the mustaches, I call it whatever you want. The baseball gods are listening, and they heard us. As Mariners fans who have never been or seen a World Series in Seattle or by Seattle, I gotta be ecstatic with where we're at right now. Wanted to kick it over to you guys. What are you guys' thoughts on the current state of the Mariners right now?
Well, I mean, 7 games in a row. You got to be pretty excited about that, right? And really, I mean, if I was to remember our last episode correctly, it's when all 3 of us were doing it. We had talked about the ups and downs of the season and having like just the right timing at the proper moment within the season going into the playoffs. And you hope we have. I think really we've developed our identity at this point. We're a hitting ball team, which if you asked me this time last year, I would have called you crazy. We have the ability to hit, but then also maybe our pitching is starting to figure it out. Castillo 2 starts in a row, where previous to that, I think he had like 5 starts like stretch where it was a really tough ERA to look at. So it's nice to see that rotation start to figure it out when you have already like a top third offense. So currently feeling really good. Vibes are strong. You have to really like across the board the players that we added at the deadline. I mean, really, it's just Ferguson. He started off really well for us, and then really his last couple goes in the pen hasn't been amazing or anything, but all the other players are contributing in our lineup. I guess just the one thing you get nervous about is just that back of the front part of the road, front part of the bullpen. Really, when you go into that 5, 6, 7, what does that look like day in, day out? You have some consistency though with the back end, but you can't pitch them every day when you're going extra innings night after night. That's when it starts getting tough. But boys, feeling good. What about you,
Nosy,
Nelson?
what about you?
I appreciate that we didn't go for the Timu Wizard, so that's a good start. Jokes aren't going to land today, I guess. We'll just leave it there. But no, it's again, we talk about runs. Again, when we last got together, we were definitely in the lull, and it was all about, I think one of the things we talked about kind of all year is when we hit these lulls, how quickly can we get out of them? That's going to be really define how we kind of shape the year. And I think that's really been a consistent thing that we've done. We've gotten into these lulls, but we've really figured out how to get out of them quickly and be really take them a lot further along than probably we've done in the past. Look, right now we're with the 7-game win streak. Castillo did exactly what we needed. We just played 2 late extra inning games. He comes in, pitches, gets late into the game. We get a couple guys in the bullpen. Now what's going to happen is as Chad talked about, how does the rest of our bullpen kind of push through? Spires pitched 3 straight days. I think, Luke Jackson, I think it had pitched, I think he's on 3. He didn't pitch today, but I think he was 3 straight prior to today. So with just it's a lot of tired arms. So how's that bullpen going to shape up? I think, Gavin, you mentioned, I think we DFA Jose Castillo, who I thought pitched pretty well so far. And then the hitting. I mean, you can't get away. We are a pesky team. That we talk about just the one-run games. They said today we were 29 and 21 in one-run games. We've had 40 plus come from behind. I mean, that makes us dangerous just in the fact that we might not start in the first. It could come in the seventh or the ninth. But we're going to score runs, and you're going to have to. These opposite teams are going to have, or these opposing teams are going to have to pitch their A guys, or you're gonna blink and win. It's really exciting from the offensive side. Chad, you nailed it. Last year, you would have mentioned us as an offensive threat, and we all would have laughed ourselves out of the room. Really, it's been something really enjoyable to watch, and it's top to bottom. I love Robles back because I love JP in that 9 spot. So we're a well-rounded team, and we're getting contributions from the bench. It's just going to be how the bullpen really, I think, plays out the rest of the year.
Yeah, these last I guess month, if you take away that nasty road series, it's been a lot of reverse of what we've seen over just, I guess, the past decade plus of if we're not going to get run support, then there's another wheel that's falling. If we're giving run support, then there's another wheel that's falling. There's always something that's not aligned, and it ends up we're on the losing side of the game. A guy will give you 7 innings of no hit run, or sorry, no hit, no run baseball, and then we'll find a way to lose the game. This year, or I guess recently, we've really seen that kind of turn the corner. Where, like tonight, for example, our guy gives us almost 7 innings and able to just give up the 1 run, and we find a way, to get a 2-1 victory. Don't see that as a Mariners fan for true through and blue, you don't see that too often. You see that a 1-0 loss or a 2-1 loss, and it's not the Mariners. So it's nice to see them pick up the slack on certain areas where we haven't seen it in the past. There is a question from the Pack Chat Network. When do we extend Garver? That's a hell of a question. Fellas, when do we extend Garver? And if we're throwing out money, how much?
We don't.
That's
Harry. That's Harry's job. And honestly, I mean, kudos for Garver to get the home run tonight. I was really happy to see it because I was looking up, last month he's been batting 167. He's offered no production where I was after that first at bat, or even second at bat too. I just started shaking my head of Harry Ford can at least offer a 10-20% bump on that guaranteed. Is that worth continue to go with the veteran? But it's nice to see the guy coming through. I call it, shout out to my buddy McFall, he calls it the reverse jinx. But yeah, it seems to Garver responds well to the reverse jinx. So guarantee it, next time you see him in the lineup, I'm just gonna be talking trash in my head to him.
And just run it back. The baseball gods will work.
Yeah.
No, and kind of while we're on the topic, I did want to give a couple of shout outs. Jorge Polanco, his up and down for the year. He had obviously that monster first 2 months where he was batting over 330, 9 home runs. And they mentioned it on the broadcast. Shout out to Apple for throwing out those numbers. Had a dip in the middle of the season. And now for the last 2 months, he's batting over 270. And I think he's had close to 15 home runs over the past 2 months. Shout out for him. He's really stepped up in the middle or mid to late part of that lineup where you've needed just another guy to step up when other guys aren't. And he is really taking the bull by the horns on that. The other person I wanted to give a shout out to.
I would say, well, before we move on from Polanco, I mean, if it wasn't for DeGrom, he'd probably win AL Comeback Player of the Year, right? I mean, is there anybody else out there in the AL that you would give that award to?
Off the top of my head, no. There's not anybody off the top of my head.
Yeah. All right. You can keep going. But I mean, it's also another one of those things, if you told me Polanco is going to be the 3rd, 4th most productive player in our lineup this time next year, I would have said Polanco is going to be on the team.
It's now getting to the point where do we extend Polanco? Or not extend him? He's already vested his option for next year. But do we keep him? Is he now not a player that we trade? I mean, if he's trade bait, he's probably very attractive at this point. And maybe you get something good back, and now it's Cole Young's job moving forward. But it's a good situation to be in with where Jorge Polanco's at. Honestly, the vibes are at an all-time high. It'd be interesting to see what they actually do in the offseason with him. The other person I did want to give a shout out to was Carlos Vargas. He has been kind of flip of a coin for most of the season. I know a lot of Mariners fans have just been frustrated with seeing him out of the bullpen. Lately, he has looked dialed in. The last 2-3 outings, dialed in. Tonight, specifically, just the 1 inning, 3 straight strikeouts. Or not straight, but 3 strikeouts, gave up the 1 hit. And then last night, I think he came in also 2 strikeouts and a ground out. And also seen him touch 100. I've seen him just kind of sit 98, 99 and not quite get to 100. I know it's there. I know he can do it. But it was just kind of nice to see him hit 100 like 2 or 3 times tonight. And like, okay, like it's there. And we're seeing, I guess, a little bit higher confidence level out of the guy. And maybe he's another piece that can actually help you out as we move forward. I'll be honest, a month ago, I was concerned. I didn't know if he was going to be that piece that was going to help you through the end of the year. But man, he's really turned on the Jets. I'm really glad that we decided to stick with him and give that opportunity. But those are the 2 guys I wanted to give a shout out to.
Yeah, I think like on Vargas, thing that's interesting about him, I always find like he's really effective when he starts landing pitches for strikes. He gets into a lot of trouble when he starts throwing a lot of pitches. When you see that first at bat and it's like 8, 9 pitches long, and you're saying, okay, we're going to have one of these innings where he's dancing around guys, putting a guy on, and then throwing a pitch he doesn't want to throw. But you're right, like he's been really good. I mean, he's commanding the strike zone. He's going after players. Command is control the zone. Is that for hitters or pitchers? Control the zone.
That's for hitters.
What does he say for pitchers then? I'm trying to remember that one.
Throw it down the middle.
Yeah, fill it up. Miss middle.
No, yeah. So super happy about that. And then like to answer your on Polanco too, I don't know, because watching a Rosarino who we have for 1 more year, I just keep thinking he should be playing DH full time, or at least a little bit more than he has been. It's been the last week at least has been tough. No recorded errors, but a lot of fumbled balls, and I don't know, maybe he's just a little injured. I saw him trying to stretch something out today, so I don't know if there's something lingering with him, but he just seems a little bit slow right now.
Yeah. Yeah, no, honestly, all vibes are high. Wanted to give some shout outs and everything. Wanted to kind of, just talk about, William, thank you for throwing that. We did discuss Jose Castillo's DFA situation a little bit earlier ago. What are the chances that the Astros pick him up, considering that their bullpen needs help? Yeah, there's a chance that they could do that. If I'm throwing out bets, the Rangers pick him up. The Rangers pick him up, just because that's the train that they're running. However, there's still a chance that no one picks him up. That's what I love about this time of the year, is there's only probably 6 to 8 teams that are even going to consider picking him up. No one else, like the Marlins aren't picking him up. The Rockies aren't picking him up. So when you do something like that with him, there's a good chance that he floats right back and he's available. And you could put him right back in AAA. And then as you get into another tight situation, as you're currently in, you pull him back up. And then it's maybe you DFA Luke Jackson or something like that. What's that, Knowles?
So my question would be, and I don't know the answer to this, is because we've surpassed September 1st, if you were to pick him up on your team, can they even make a playoff roster?
No. And technically he wouldn't play on ours, because I think we picked him up September 3rd. So after that deadline.
So potentially by any team picking him up, they're going to have to take a spot from somebody else, which potentially takes, now you have really 2 people that have lost that playoff spot. So it's probably very, I would say, confident that we're going to see him back in our organization, just because he's already kind of held a spot. But we talked about, shout outs to, I think Carlos Vargas, exactly. The guy's, I think he's getting more confident with his pitches. His pitches move. I think he's been trying to be too cute. Also, I was shocked to see this. He's 25.
Yeah, he's young.
Young guy, just needs the confidence. He has the stuff. And then for Polanco, I mean, we've kind of talked. We've kind of heard at least I haven't heard the complete interview with DePoto and Naylor, but who's to say you don't say Naylor doesn't sign with us? Polanco shifts over to first base, we don't have to see his arm at third base. I think he's got a pretty good glove. And as a switch hitting first baseman, I'd buy that.
It's tough for me to be all in on a 5'9", 5'10" first baseman. I'm not saying it won't work. I guess maybe this is the traditionalist in me. Seeing a 5'9" first baseman is just, I guess, awkward. That's the best way I can put it. And it's not that he can't do it and he wouldn't be good at it. It's just anti-traditionalist, I guess, is the only way I can kind of put my 2 cents in on that. Especially when you have Luke Raley, like it's you have other guys that can probably come up and play. You can sign somebody in the off season. I think there's other answers. However, the DH spot,
3.5 million first baseman can we find that's worth the damn?
we'll see who's available this offseason.
Seems to be our budget recently.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, there's just not a lot, and you've got a guy that's already going to be here next year. Is next year vested. And I get that he's 5'9". I think this would be my argument for basketball players. You can't make a free throw. How much money are we paying you, and you're not practicing? Like, to me, the guy might be 5'9". You're making how much money to throw a baseball? Throw it to a target. Like, it's not high school. I mean, I get your point, right? It's nice to have a big, Rowdy Tellez to throw to, but at the same time, these are professional athletes.
Yeah,
put the ball in his chest and call it a day.
I mean, it's the same reason I wasn't a big fan of Donovan Solano. Like, he's a first baseman, and he's not a first baseman. It's just he's at that point in his career that they've moved him over there, and it's like awkward seeing him play first base. He can do it nonetheless, but he's just not. I don't know, man. He doesn't fit the bill. Especially Donovan Solano, not going to hit bombs. Like, he doesn't fit the bill on any category there.
I mean, Jorge, obviously, I totally forgot about the plate appearances, so that's vested now. So he is a Mariner next year, no matter what. And I'd gladly take him at $6 million. Yeah. And I think, you're seeing it maybe one more year removed from that, bad injuries he's been experiencing with his legs. He's had hip issues, knee issues, right? I think a year removed from that. And then he played a little bit of third base to start the year. It didn't look great, but there have been reports of him taking ground balls at first. So you'd have to imagine there's probably a plan to work Cole Young, and he's the future at second base, but still have Polanco playing maybe 2-3 different positions during the season.
Yeah, I could totally see him being in at DH, especially if Naylor doesn't come back. He's at DH and he spells you at first base. That I can get on board with, absolutely, especially for the power that he provides. 100%. Like, yeah, that's the guy I'd be vying for at first base over Donovan Solano, over maybe a couple of these other guys that we've floated out in the past. But yeah, I like where we would be at with bringing him back. However, there's an option, and it's an attractive option to trade him too. So there's 2 different sides of that off-season finish, I guess, is the best way. What direction does Jerry go in? Does he keep him? Does he find a way to make it work between DH first base? If we bring back Naylor, what's his role then? Is he just a DH? And does Ben Williamson make a return at some point next year? Is he offloaded? Is he traded? If we decide to bring Gino back, I know most of us have probably agreed that there's good chance that Gino probably takes off. But that's another question. What if he brings him back? If he brings him back and just tries to run it back with the same team, now you're looking at a 25-year-old Ben Williamson who needs to be playing Major League Baseball somewhere. And you're looking at a couple different trades here to try and impact this roster at some point, and it probably ends up being bullpen arms. That's my guess. Is it trading Polanco to go get a Griffin Jacks type, something to that effect? I throw out Griffin Jacks because
you love Griffin Jacks. I love that you love Jacks.
I got to work with him down here at Push. The guy's good, man. He's got really good stuff, and now that he's with the Rays, I think he'll take off next year. But somebody of that caliber.
And there'd be another guy potentially. Again, he's a pretty good third baseman, but Suarez at first base. So you could have Ben Williamson come up and play third. Because we, in terms of first base home run production. We have not gotten much of it since we got rid of Tellez. Who's to say you don't shift Suarez over there at first? Ben Williamson comes over. Quite frankly, it's what we have today, just in reverse.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're onto something there, because Jerry was even quoted today when talking about bringing in free agents. He said, quoted, "I don't necessarily think it's personal plan or certainly not something we discuss here internally. We just haven't been able to attract the right player that we feel great about investing more than 2 years, $24 million." So I'd say Gino fits that mold of a 2-year, 12 per mil kind of guy at his age, 34, 35, finishing off his career here. Yeah, if Naylor's not re-signed, I would not be shocked if Gino's your starting first baseman. By the way, he's top 3 in home runs over the last 5 years in Major League Baseball. So yeah, I'd gladly take that power for first base.
And also, I think with the whole trying to sign somebody in the offseason or just trying to find somebody who's attracted to Seattle in multiple different ways, you found two guys that have grown a little bit to the city of Seattle. And have actually started hitting in Seattle. One of them way more dominant than anybody else that we've seen in Seattle. So that definitely plays, because people are on the outside looking in. They're not attracted to Seattle as a hitter because, hey, like it's cold for the first couple of months. He can't hit for most of the year. Why would I want to go there? Especially if they're not really serious. For the past couple of years, Jerry hasn't been as serious, or this organization has not been as serious about winning a World Series. Because that's where my bar is. World Series. I'm not trying to make the playoffs. That's awesome if we make the playoffs. Obviously, we want to make the playoffs, and we're all going to celebrate it when it happens. Our goal is to win a World Series, or at least get there. That should be the goal. If it's not, watch Moneyball. Watch Moneyball and tell me how wrong I am. Because that should be the bar. That really should honestly be the goal that you try to attain. But yeah, I like the idea of shifting him over, and I think he would be approachable with a good 2-year deal, maybe even 3-year, if you want to like add in some incentives or a couple options or whatever. Just to kind of get the spruce the deal up, get it done, and just have him back in Seattle for the next couple of years, or to have him retire. But the other part of this, and I know we talked a little bit about it, but man, the prospects that we have coming up, there's a lot to be excited about, and these guys are perfect. Like between JP Crawford leaving in potentially 2027, if you re-sign Gino to 2027 as well, these guys are exiting as some of these guys are getting the perfect balance of play time. Like Harry Ford, he can take off in 2027 when Cal Raleigh maybe potentially moves to a DH first base role. You're having a really good balance of not expecting a full roster of prospects to just kind of take it over and say, hey, brand new team, let's go. So that's the other part that I really like.
I mean, you're onto something there too. It says something with Jerry's comment about talking about offering a 2-year, $24 million deal to free agents. I don't know how many all-star caliber hitters you're going to find at that kind of amount. So that just tells you that they're clearly looking at what are the waves coming next, and that's what we're focused in on. It's frustrating as a fan, though, right? I mean, you want them to be all in each year and spending money, but that's just not how we operate. We know that, though.
And he's 33. I mean, how old's Christian Walker? I mean, that was a guy that everyone was 34. So we were all clamoring to get him this last offseason. Oh, age, this and that. Eugenio's a year younger, and he's producing at a much higher clip. I mean, you look at his last 3 years of home runs. What was it? He went to Jared. He went from 22, 30 to 45. So he's actually gotten better with age. So, I mean, sure, there might be a dip at some point, but he's figured out how to hit the deep ball.
He's currently hitting.
And you look at like Nelson Cruz. That guy was able to hit lots of home runs as he aged, and he did it in Seattle. So if
he's more athletic, Nelson Cruz.
Yeah, a little bit. Just a little bit.
So Suarez has figured out how to do that in Seattle. I mean, that's a guy you can hold on to. And again, if you do shift him over to first base, or you make him your everyday DH, that's a guy that can do this for the next 3 to 5 years. and you can
No,
probably pay the 2 years, $24 million.
Yep. And then you could have something to extend that, to get him to 3, 4, 5 years. That would be either club options or something that's attractive to the club itself, to where it's incentive laden, something that kind of makes it a good deal at the age of 37, 38. And I think for the most part, Jerry's done a pretty good job of not going, for lack of a better term, balls deep in some of these contracts and not being locked up for 10 plus years for a guy that's 28 to 32. If he's doing that with guys that are, 23 to 25, or he's doing it with Cal Raleigh. Like, that's the one guy. I think how old was Cal Raleigh when he made that deal for 6 years? 28, 29.
Yeah, 28.
Just this past off season. So I will say Jerry has done a pretty good job of just managing the contracts, but also, we've missed the needle on bringing in the right guys at the right time, and now it's happened. Now we're actually bringing in the right guys, and now it's time to absolutely capitalize, or just find that extra oomph, to get yourself over the hump. Because if they make it to the postseason, which, knock on wood, and if they make it to the World Series, okay, perfect. Now you have to you can't just go to the World Series, not win it, and then don't do anything to improve your roster or to like bolster it or do something, right? Like the Diamondbacks, when they went there, and they didn't, no one expected them to go. They didn't do a whole lot in the offseason. They were just like, yeah, we love this team. We're going to run it back with these guys. And then they didn't do anything the next year. So you do have to improve. You have to kind of, slowly integrate more successful tools. Which
improve, but not alter the culture of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. I can get on board with that. Since 2022, they've developed a very, very good, actually, since probably before then, with JP Crawford and company, they've done a very good job of creating a good culture. They don't have any FU guys, and honestly, one of those FU guys was Josh Naylor. He came in and he added the spice that they needed. He was just his, head down, let's go win a ball game type of player. And he wasn't taking any bullshit. He was just kind of that guy. That I'd like to see a little bit more of that. It doesn't need to be the whole dynamic, but a little bit more of that. Like I said, Max Scherzer was one of my favorites to bring in, because he's a good teammate from everybody that I've heard around the league. He is a absolutely amazing teammate, an amazing human being. But when you step on the mound, he's a psycho. I want that. I want all of that. And he was one of the guys I was like, all right, maybe this offseason. And of course, he goes to the Rangers and then gets traded to the Blue Jays. So yeah, that was just a little bit of that would maybe going forward.
No, I like that though. I mean, Naylor nickname is Nails. I mean, I feel like just speaks truly to his personality. He loves baseball. And you hear the stories too of he's the first guy into the clubhouse every single day before the game. His routine it speaks for his numbers, right? And vice versa. So it's fun to see and fun. It was a nice little added puzzle to the little piece added to that puzzle. And it really reminds me a little bit of your Kyle Seager almost in a way, obviously a little bit more outspoken, but really led by example too. And that's something I think has been missing with really a very young team. Even when you had to ask guys like JP Crawford when he got here and he started hitting to be a leader on this team when he had never led before. So it's nice to add that additional piece too, as far as leadership goes.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's we've now started to develop some of that leadership, which I love. I think Cal Raleigh's really stepped into a role. Josh Naylor hit the ground running, and now he is, if he decides to come back,
literally hit the ground running.
Hit the ground. I know how many another stolen base the other night. God, I love this guy. I hope they bring him back. He is a leader. He's an immediate leader. Then you have just the vibes are always high with a Rosarena, with Julio, with Victor Robles, and then obviously with bringing Gino back. You have a good balance, good mix of just good team chemistry. You're hoping to just put salt in the wound. No, put gasoline on the fire. Put some gasoline on the fire.
Gas up the boys.
Yeah. Salt on it, boys. Yeah.
Salt and lime, maybe.
Yeah, salt and lime. Get it fired up. It's Friday night. Thanks for tuning in for Up West Sports. We're funny here. We have fun. Wanted to pivot to, I guess, the rest of the season. We got what is it, 15 games left on the board. Let me take a look at and break down
14. I think we're 14.
It was 15 tonight. So we got 14 more coming up your alley. Let me pull up the calendar here for the rest of the year and just do a little bit of a breakdown. But yeah, as you can see, we're stuck right here headed into Saturday against the Angels. 6:40 game. It's fan appreciation night, so if you're a fan and you like to be appreciated, definitely go. We got Sunday.
Get your goodie bags.
Get your goodie bags.
They're handing out
Actually, go
t-shirts that
support the
say
team.
54%, I think.
Yeah. You know what? That was we were gonna lead this whole thing off. We are currently at 54%, ladies and gentlemen. We have struck gold. We have gotten to the promised land. Jerry couldn't be more proud right now.
America, we did it.
America, we did it. Seattle, we're here. Then you got the Royals on the road. We're back on the road. Royals for 3, followed by the Astros in Houston for 3. We all know how big that series is, and honestly, I love it. This is where I love to embrace some of the chaos. You're on the road against the Astros, and yeah, the tensions are going to be high. And at that point in time, next Friday, yeah, it's probably going to be a little testy, and we're probably going to be within a game or two of each other. And this series could actually make or break you. So I'm very excited to see this chaos ensue over the next week. However, following that, you got the Rockies that hopefully you take at least 2 out of 3. If you're not taking 2 out of 3 from the Rockies, hopefully you have like a 3-game lead in the division. But then to finish out the year, you got the Dodgers, who I am hoping, I could be wrong, I could be off base by saying this, but I'm hoping that they're going to be just on top of the NL West, and they're just going to be, playing some of their guys and throwing some of their guys. They're not going to be, taking it as far back, but we'll see how the rest of this plays out. We saw on the broadcast tonight, they have the 4th easiest road out, and we will see how that plays out. I think the Astros had the 3rd easiest, or I think it was the Red Sox had the 3rd easiest. So either way, excited to see. Did have a couple comments here. Bring back Naylor and extend Randy. I couldn't agree more, to be honest. And just to validate your feelings, that's definitely been said by us as well. We love Naylor. We love Randy. There's no reason to not bring him back. First time stopping in. Is this a show dedicated to just the M's? Actually, Tim, thank you for asking. We were just Mariners not too long ago. We just expanded to Wazoo. Unfortunately, a lot of go Cougs. So we're talking Wazoo football as well. We understand a lot of our Mariners fans are UW guys or Western Washington people that happen to root for UW. That's a little jab, but we love you. No, so we get it that some of our fan base may back out because we talk about Wazoo, but it's between Washington State University football and it's also talk about Mariners. And we actually just got up off the ground in January and still kind of making a name for ourselves. So Tim, thank you for stopping by. Wanted to get your guys' take for the rest of the season. With the 4th easiest schedule on the way out, what are your guys'? Hey, Tim, go Cougs! All right, we got a Coug. Here we go. You're in. You're in for life now, Tim. Buddy. Yeah, you're not leaving now, buddy. Guys, what's your guys' thoughts on the rest of the way?
Yeah, I guess I'll take that. I mean, we're playing the Angels right now. Just one tonight. We got 2 more games against them, correct? Or is it just 1 more?
2. We had a 4-game set.
2 more. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to at least split that, get to, get 2 more wins out of this. And then Rockies, I expect a sweep at home. We've been playing incredibly well at home too. And they do not have any pitching at all. So you should be able to see us score a lot of runs. Biggest thing is just making sure we don't tax our bullpen leading up to that game. I'd like to continue to have our starting pitchers go deep, and I feel really strong about a sweep with that. And then Dodgers, I mean, Gavin, you're probably right. They're 2.5 games up right now over San Diego Padres. In the next 4 or 5 days, them going into the series against the Mariners, you could see them, probably putting games a little bit more on younger players, guys that might not be on that playoff roster, so they keep guys fresh. So I'd like to at least see one win. You can't take that sweep versus the Dodgers, but 2 wins would obviously be ideal. You got the Royals, really strong team. Their pitching's pretty darn solid. We've struggled, I believe, against them this whole year. I think we have a losing record versus them. I had to verify that one. So love to get a surprise series win there, but I know that's going to be tough. And then Astros, that's how we finish, right? So, I mean, it's going to be a fun series. Can't wait for that.
Dodgers, who we finish with. We got the Astros next Friday, followed by the Rockies. No, yeah, you're on the right track, though, with just who we have kind of finishing up this bad boy. But yeah, I think with the Dodgers, as you were mentioning as well, the Dodgers finishing up the last 3 games of the year, we could be in a good situation, or we could be in just facing one of the best teams in baseball situation. So we're hoping that the Dodgers just kind of take the NL West, and maybe they're 5 games up, 4 games up, whatever the case may be, and maybe they're kind of taking it easy, resting their guys, getting ready for the postseason themselves.
Yeah,
but,
and just one quick call out too. I know last time we were on here, I think it was like middle of August, right? And we were talking about how we're going to finish. What's the over under? We put the over under at Vegas was giving us 86.5, and we were saying right. 88 was going to be the win total. Well, if we finish out the way that I just said it, it's going to be 88 wins, a .543 winning percentage.
You're damn right. You're damn right, Chad. That's exactly how it's going to end too. I got it on that one. I got it on that one as well. Fellas, this has been fantastic. Nosy, I wanted to get your final take on how we're going to finish this year out, or what your take is on the rest of the way.
I could piggyback off both what you said. Royals, tough series. Astros, I'd love to see us with a 2-game lead go to that Astros series, just in the event that we have those lulls, right? They always happen. So let's say we have the lulls in that series. At least let's say we take 1 of 3. We're tied. You have the Rockies, Dodgers. The Rockies, to me, that series is kind of that trap series. You go in there to that one. Oh, they're the Rockies. They've lost 120 games, and you come out going, "What just happened?" The Dodgers right now, yeah, they're 2.5 up in the standings of the division. They're also 6 games up on the 3rd wild card spot. So, I'm confident that they've got a playoff spot wrapped up. If it's looking like they're going to be in that 3rd playoff spot, yeah, they're in that wild card. You're definitely wanting to probably save your arms because of those series that come through. But to me, the biggest series would be that Astros series and that Royal series. So we'll see how that kind of plays out.
I mean, you have to imagine that Astro series is going to decide that division, right? It has to be. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm pumped for that series. I want to be tuned in the whole time, and it's going to be electric. I know we're going to have the only tough part, it's on the road.
And that could be an ALD. That could be an ALCS type of showdown
atmosphere. Yeah. Makes you almost want to travel to Houston. Then you have to realize you have to go to Houston.
Yeah, Houston. September, it starts to get a little better. I did want to give a little bit of a shout out here as well. Coming up on Monday, we actually are having Christian Little, who is a minor leaguer in the Mariners. He's actually playing in the Arizona Fall League. He's going to be on here, and we're going to toss some questions his way, get his experience. He was a national champion for LSU, played with Paul Skeens and company back in 2023, and honestly was an underrated draft pick. I believe he went in the 11th round, but the guy has been very electric. He's got really good stuff. If you don't see him in the major leagues, I'd be very surprised. Coming from somebody who has worked in player development and has worked with players at that caliber before, Christian Little is got some stuff, and we're very excited to talk to him on Monday. So tune in on Monday, and we'll throw some questions. And yeah, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. We'd love to maybe pepper him his way as well. But for Up West Sports, I'm Gavin. Let's see. Nope, other way. There we go. We'll get it one of these days. We got Nosey and we got Mr. Chad Keba. Thank you guys for stopping by. And just remember, life's too short. Gas up your